Alright, bro, like, check it. This is what happened, bro. Like, I was in Georgia, right? I was 18.
No.
That's mania. What's good, y'all? It's Keelonda, and welcome to my very first podcast episode of the Keys of Life podcast. Thank you for joining. If you're here for the very first time, which you should be because it's my first podcast episode, welcome. If you already know who I am, if you follow me on Instagram, or if you follow the Keys of Life YouTube, which this podcast will be posted, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad to be doing this, man. This is my first time doing a podcast, and I'm pretty excited. And I know you're probably wondering, Kiki, what is the topic of your first video? Well, I'm glad you asked. This episode is an episode of where you're going to get to know who I am. You know, I know most people like to do the element of surprise where they have like 10 or 12 episodes before they be like, okay, really, who are you? But nobody knows who I am. Some people might, but not everybody. So I want to give you an introduction of who I am and what the podcast is about. So my name is Keelonda. I'm from San Diego. I am in my 30s. I am a hip-hop artist, songwriter, producer, engineer, and now podcaster. And I'm just a simple ass person, man. Like I have a regular 9 to 5, just like you. I have a wonderful family that I love dearly. I have some amazing friends that you'll definitely get a chance to meet on this podcast later on down the road. But I'm just a simple person, man. And the purpose of this podcast is to speak to everyday people like you, okay? Now, I know I stated that I am an artist, and I really want to kind of gear this towards other fellow artists who can kind of relate with the content that I'm going to be putting out. But this is for everyone, because we are all living a daily life that we struggle in. Now, whether you're happy or you're unhappy, we have struggles daily. And the Keys of Life is a gateway or a platform for me to kind of give advice on things that I've gone through, things that I've witnessed other people go through, and give you some real life keys, hence the name. I'm not trying to be corny, but I really want to go into helping people as I help myself. When I first started doing my YouTube, way before I started doing my YouTube, let me backtrack. I used to work at Starbucks, right? And I'm a very goofy person. I'm a very lively person. And if you're listening to this and you've been my friend or following me on Instagram for over the past 5 years or more, I'm silly as fuck, okay? I like to goof around. I like to do voices and intonations and different things like that. And some of my fellow coworkers were like, yo, you're pretty entertaining. Have you ever thought about making a YouTube? And I'm like, nah, that shit corny. Like, there's some people, who really have content and things to share. And I'm not that interesting. I used to tell myself that. And it was kind of weird. One day I was on the drive-through headset, and this is like dead ass early in the morning, like 5 in the morning. And this lady, she's ordering her drink, and she gets to the window and she goes, "Was that you on the microphone?" I was like, "Why? Yeah, I'm the one who took your order." She was like, "You have a very soothing voice. Have you ever thought about getting into podcasting or voiceover?" And I'm like, "Listen here, Carol. I don't know who you are and what you about, but I feel uncomfortable." But, hearing that from a random stranger, you're just doing your job. But hearing that, and then also hearing what I'm hearing from my coworkers, is just like kind of like, maybe, We have our Tony Robbins, we have our Mel Robbins, we have our Gary V's, we have our Les Browns. I'm not one of those people, okay? I'm gonna be straight up. I can be very motivational in my speech, And that's normally when I'm chilling with my friends and we having a good smoke or two or a good drink. Or if I'm talking to a random person on the street or someone that I'm, helping at work. I'm just a very inspiring person. I like to inspire people. I like to encourage people. So for me, it comes naturally. But I also had to really look into myself and be like, why am I holding this back? Why am I holding this gift? If people are telling me like, hey, you're really good at this. Hey, you're very inspiring. Hey, I feel this when I hear you talk about this. Why not delve into that? Why not look into that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I am a hip hop artist. I was doing music. I have been doing music since I was 15. I started off writing raps and poems and stuff like that, in high school, thinking I'm like Lauryn Hill or some shit. But I also realized that I'm very protective. Sorry, y'all might hear the fireplace in the background. It's cold as shit here, and we're kind of going through a little bit of something with the weather. But I also know that music to me is very sacred. Music to me is very spiritual, and I have to be in the right state of mind and in the right spiritual climate for me to perform or write a song. And I'm not always feeling that. I'm not always feeling my best. I'm not always feeling like I'm worthy to be in that arena. And I know that's just my own self-doubt and talk. And that is the importance of this podcast. And you don't just have to be a music artist. You can be a basketball player. You could be a chef. You could be a writer. You could be a CEO of a company. It doesn't matter. We all deal with that ego and that self-doubt and that fear. And I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to help myself. These podcasts are not just for you, but they're for me too. They're healing sessions. And I want to invite you and whoever cares to listen, or if you're sharing this with your family and friends, which I hope you do. So let me go ahead and make that little commercial right now. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and comment on this channel, okay? Because it's very helpful. But I want to be able to give back to people that I necessarily haven't been able to give myself. And I'm praying and hoping that through this, I'm able to discover myself and truly give it back to myself. And we struggle with that. We struggle with giving that to ourselves. We struggle with coping with our reality, coping with who we are. And we tend to get to drown that out or get caught up in work or extracurricular activities or relationships or whatever to try to drown that out. But at the end of the day, we have to deal with the real. And I pray that with this podcast, you're able to understand that someone else is there alongside with you. I'm not a professional. I'm not a guru. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like I have all the answers, because I don't. As I'm on this journey, finding the different keys that are edifying and unlocking the things for my life, I want to be able to pass that on to you and hopefully find your own keys. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all in this race together. We all bleed, we all cry, we all shit, we all sleep, we all do the same things, okay? Most of us have all had a 9-to-5 and still have a 9-to-5. A good 90% of the world are 9-to-5ers. You know what? Like I said, I'm not a mathematician or whatever that is, I'm not smart like that, but you know what? Let me stop. I am smart, but I don't have that education yet. But every day that I wake with a purpose. And that purpose might change from day to day, but it's the purpose to keep living in any form, way, or fashion I can. Because the people around me depend on that. You depend on that. Your life depends on that. You are created for a reason. And I want you to be able to find that reason. I want you to be able to dive deep within yourself and address the issues that are going on in your day-to-day life, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's at work, whether it's with your children. I don't have kids, so I'm not going to go off on my little Mary Poppins speech. But regardless, this information is universal. It's like what is that called? A master key. Ooh, Kiki. Oh shit. I came up with something new. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope this can be the master key for your life. You may not resonate with everything I say, and that's okay. We all have our preferences, and we all have our own lives and our own opinions about things. But my goal with this podcast is just to make sure that we all are living a fulfilling life, and we know the truth about ourselves. We know the truth about life, whatever that may be for us as individuals. I'm reading this book right now by Don Miguel Ruiz, who's one of my favorite authors, and it's titled The Mastery of Self. He is the same author who created the book, The Four Agreements. And in The Mastery of Self, it talks about the authentic self and the dream of the planet. And within the dream of the planet, we all have our own idea of life, what that means to us. And yet we tended to domesticate others to our way of life, but that's not the dream of the planet. The dream of the planet is to be able to cohabitate and coincide with one another without imposing our own ego and our own traditions and ways of life on people who have their own set of rules, who have their own life to live, who have their own dreams and visions on how they see the earth, on how they see their life. And there's nothing wrong with that. We have to be able to accept that. And with the keys of life, I pray and I hope that you're able to do that. And again, I'm still learning on this journal. I'm still reading that book. I'm still taking notes. I'm still writing in my journal. I'm still healing too. But hopefully we can help put the Band-Aid on one another. So with that being said, I don't want to make this too long because this is an intro, but I hope you guys liked this first podcast. I'm going to be doing more. I'm going to be releasing an episode a week. And, just tap in, write in the comments what you like, what you didn't like. I am no stranger to criticism. That's how we grow, okay? If you're afraid of criticism and you can't take it, then that's your problem and your ass gonna stay small, okay? But I welcome that. Let me know how I did. You know what I'm saying? Is the audio good? Is my diction good? Wait, pause. Okay, that's sound kind of off. But is my flow good? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it to you? Leave comments. Tell me what you would like to hear. Tell me what you would like to talk about. And I'll be honest, I'm not going to necessarily take too many suggestions because every single episode that I record is from personal experience. Now, if you suggest something that maybe I have gone through and, I can tell it from my version, that's another thing. But I'm not the type of person where it's Monday and I'm like, okay, on Friday, I'm going to make an episode about pizza. You know what I'm saying? And the different types of pizza that I like. This just comes naturally. Whatever I experienced that day or, maybe the day before or I have a thought about, I just press record because it's life. It's happening in real time. So, I'm not going to take too many suggestions in terms of topics, but I will take some suggestions on how to make the channel better. And some of these episodes will just have audio. Some of them will have both audio and visual. So if it does have visual, you can check it out on YouTube. I will put it in the link below of this podcast. Well, not necessarily this podcast because it's just audio, but in future episodes, you will have that ability. So again, man, my name is Kilanda. Welcome to the Keys of Life. And always remember, okay, to stay blessed, to stay black, and to stay love. I'm out. Peace.